Hey, my name's Tyler Boronski. You're watching my YouTube channel where I'm sitting down with recognizable faces in entertainment and the digital space. Today's guest, she's letting all the single people know what and what not to say on Hinge and when you slide in those DMs. So if you message her, there's a good chance you might end up in one of her TikTok videos.
Would you say to going to a resort to get to know one another? It would allow us to be completely in our element and to be our true selves. What? I don't want to see your true self. I don't want to do that. We're not there yet, being our true selves.
We got stories for days to share, and she's also telling them live and in person on the comedy stage at a comedy venue near you. So she's Daniela Mora. Thanks for getting up early to do this. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I know you had a show last night at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. How quickly do you get a feel of the crowd and just a sense of how this show is going to be?
Yesterday was a great show that I saw. It was very young, one of a younger comedian. She's kind of newer, but she's like an influencer, so she sold out the entire stage. So it was very young. Everyone looked like me. I crushed. I was like, this is going to be perfect. So really depends. Manhattan is a little more my scene opposed to like Brooklyn or like if you're going to like, other boroughs, Jersey or whatever it is. But yeah, typically you can tell just like by the back of everyone's hair, like people have like a bald spot. I'm like, oh, this isn't for me.
Are you bald? I just wanted to double check. We all see in this. No,
If you have like a good head of hair, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna crush.
Just the head of hair. That's how you
determine. Just the head of hair.
I like it. How long have you been doing it at this point now? Stand up?
It's been 2 years.
What's that process been like to, get gigs and really just get your name out there in that standpoint?
Yeah. Definitely in the beginning, I was kind of dipping my toe into it. Opposed to probably like a year ago, I like fully sought out to do this. So, you just start going to mics, you start writing jokes, you start seeing what works, what doesn't work, you network, you have some friends, you start a show, you get on shows, and, you just, once you get into the scene and the whole community, it's pretty simple and you can kind of see how everything works. And until then, you just keep improving to be the funniest you can be.
Has that always been something you wanted to do, or is this something you realized later in life?
Yeah, I definitely want to do something with comedy. When I was younger, a lot of people, your mom's friends and stuff would be like, oh my God, like she has to be a stand-up comedian. Like she's so funny. So that was always in the back of my mind, but I did originally start with more digital stuff and I knew it was funny, but I wasn't like too familiar with stand-up, and that never really crossed my mind until after college. And I was like, okay, I'm funny, but like I want to do more with this, so maybe I should do like in person.
You said you started with digital content, talking one-on-one to this camera, and then opposed to a crowd of 50, 100, totally different dynamic, I'm sure. So describe one of those first ever shows.
Oh gosh, yeah. Just thinking about my whole vibe on stage was definitely just so new. I definitely was very awkward. My jokes were very long, with stand-up, it's just like wit and has to be kind of quick. And even looking back, I would have like printed sheets of paper. Like I would write it in a Word doc and then would print it out, and I would have that on stage. Not necessarily to read, but just to like reference. But just coming up with printer paper, you already know that you're headed down a bad path.
Yeah. On the flip side, then, what's it been like to get comfortable with crowd work, where that is the definition of ad-libbing and there's no script for that? So what's it been like to get comfortable in that sense?
Yeah, honestly, in the beginning, I was pretty afraid of crowd work, but now I honestly love doing it more than my own jokes sometimes. I just feel like I'm very off the cuff, and with crowd work, you oftentimes even get bigger laughs because everyone knows what you're talking about. So.
Did you send her a rose? So do you even like her? So you're gay? No, that's...
Honestly, I have so much fun interacting with the crowd. I think that's probably like my most reason for going on stage, is just kind of being able to, interact on a whim with them. Is just, it's very fun.
Who are some of your favorite stand-up comedians, just comedians as a whole, and maybe any you've had personal interactions with?
Jessica Kirson is just so funny. She's the crowd work queen. She followed me on Instagram the other day, so
There we go. Let's go.
I know things are my favorite. Classic, like Amy Schumer. I mean, I just like the trajectory of her career and how she's able to do, stand up and movies and, writing and acting and all those things. So that's pretty admirable to watch. Sarah Silverman, she's awesome. Just a lot of the classics.
You mentioned social media videos. Have you been on a first date where someone has brought up your TikTok videos already yet?
I think we would have talked about it before, but not like on the date. And they were like, "Oh my God, it's you." Because when they often were to match me or message me, that's kind of like the first point. So nothing that surprised me too much now.
That's good. That would be
That is good,
that'd be
yeah.
a shock if you find out later. When did you realize that type of niche type of content would work? Sharing the DMs and sharing the dating messages. When did you realize that would work?
Well, I guess dating is such a saturated topic. So I guess I've always been, I love talking about dating. I definitely have a lot of experiences. I'm just a very friendly, kind of flirty vibe. So it kind of fits that I do love talking about this. And I often make fun of the guys a lot and just kind of like poking holes and like kind of making a self-deprecating joke at myself because I'm like, oh, still down. And like, it's like the crazy messages. So it's just something I like talking about. I really enjoy. I've had a lot of encounters and like brushes with dating, I guess. And just like my whole love life is just like very comical because I don't really know how to do it super well. So it's entertaining for me. So I'm like, oh, they're going to love this because I like talking about this.
So what's your mindset right now? Because if you get in a relationship, then that might affect the content. So what's your thought process right now?
Yeah. I mean, as if that's like up to me. I don't think anyone wants to date me right now. I don't know. It definitely takes a lot to get me cuffed. I don't know. I'm never really, I'm not sure. I haven't really found anyone that I would want to date. My DMs are heinous, but yeah, I don't know. They would definitely have to be okay with it. And there's a point where I was talking to someone and I was still making these videos, but it wasn't really about dating. It was more like things that he would do that were like really nice. And, I would like shout that out. So yeah, the content could change if something changes.
Way to do it. I know, doing a little looking on your LinkedIn that you worked in the social media world, but more behind the scenes for a while, doing stuff with Collab and the Black Sheep. I don't know exactly what that is, but I know Collab. I know Collab. What do you think you learned working behind the scenes in the social media world that has helped you with developing your own brand online?
Yeah, I still work there. I'm still, ideally that will no longer. But I started off in Black Sheep's like this like college like media company. It's like a dumber bar stool. Like it's just like not as cool. But I made memes there and I had like a really big meme page. And from there, I was like, oh, I kill at social media. Like I kind of know what's funny online. So from there, I got a position at Collab and I run their social media. And yeah, just obviously being in a place that is surrounded by, managing other people's accounts and brands and, having to get them to go viral and do all these things. So I consume a lot of media. And so I get to see like a lot of talent whose content does well. And I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. Like maybe I should format it like that or kind of mimic it like this. So just being around a lot of successful people that do this for like a full-time job and having to do it for my own self definitely is a great parallel to base it off of.
So I'm guessing in that sense you were really following like the TikTok world when it was really at its like peak. I want to say like the 2019, like when Charlie basically started blowing up, 2020.
Yeah.
Were you, I'm guessing, going to the conventions like the VidCons, the Playlist Lives of the
I
world, where
went
you're doing
there,
all that?
yeah. I've been to a couple of those for work. Yeah, I only even jumped on TikTok when I think it was like 2020. Like I was senior year in college, but I wasn't really making anything that was doing well. It was just like silly. And then maybe like in the fall, I had like one of my first viral videos, and I was like, okay, let's try to keep doing this.
Last thing for you, I mean, any projects or just shows? Obviously, you are booking more lately. That you want to promote and put out there, so people do get a chance to see you.
If anyone's in Manhattan, I have a bi-weekly show in the Lower East Side on Tuesdays. It's super fun. It's free, so you get to see me for free. Yeah, and a lot of other people. I have some stuff ideally is gonna, pan out very soon that I won't just jinx just yet. But yeah, if anyone's in Manhattan, I post everything on my story for shows and just keeping up with the latest. I'll definitely be roasting some guy on Hinge or Instagram. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Danielle, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.